Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you're having a wonderful day. It is that time again when we look at my portfolio. I'm going to go over the entire portfolio. I'm going to go over the buys, the sells, what I'm going to do going forward, the ISA account, and then of course we're going to look at the news, just basically what is happening in the overall markets right now, and then we'll take it from there. If you haven't liked the video already, please do so because it definitely helps the channel. It doesn't cost you a penny. If you want to join us in the Patreon account and you're willing to actually just give us that much and get access to all of this, including the Sharia basically compliant e-book as well. And of course there is also a basically updated watch list, weekly updated watch list that I share with the community on the Discord, where you can actually talk to brothers and sisters who are very much like-minded. Now going back here, what we're going to do is we're going to go over the portfolio, but before I do that, I want to talk about a couple of things. Okay, the fear and greed index, this has been here around for quite some time. In the last few days, you will see the market has been up so much. Is now we're still fearful, but we're not there yet. Okay, we're not basically where we were before, and we're heading towards possibly neutral, and then the greed starts, and then extreme greed where everyone thinks we are all untouchable and so on. And I've seen it all. So now I've been investing over just about 4 years now, and every single year, every single month, we've seen all of this. Okay, I've seen it in 2020 where everything was going to the moon. 2021, everything was going to the moon. 2020, we were all extreme fear, and then since then we've been basically hovering around here. So what I want you to do is ignore all of this noise. Okay, this is just a noise. When you look at the S&P 500 for 1 month, you can see there's a lot of companies that are in the green. Okay, when you look at this for 1 year performance, okay, there are companies that are still up, including one of the companies that I own, Broadcom, 93%. 93% in 1 year, a year on. AMD 91%, 240% for Nvidia. If you think this is just technology companies, look at Eli Lilly, for example. Because of the weight loss and diabetes products, okay, it's gone to the moon and back. Okay, and the big boys have done really well. Companies like GE, for example, General Electric, one of the oldest companies out there, is up 80% for this year. Okay, so it's not just one or two companies. There's a lot of companies out there that are doing really well overall. So don't buy into the hype when one day we see a red day and everybody basically selling, people are panicking, this is the end. Please don't do that and change your mindset. Okay, it's very important that you think about the long term. Red days are good days for all of us, for long-term investors. Okay, because 3 years down the line, these greens and reds will not matter, because the stock market generally goes up on average 7 to 10%, and that's what we're after. Now if you look at the S&P 500 and you look at basically just for this month, it's up about 2%. For 1 year, it's about 14%. So a year to date basically is up about almost to 14%, which is quite healthy. So if we finish this year, then that means the S&P 500 have gained 14%, which is quite good. You will not get that anywhere else. So if you were investing the index itself, then you would have actually made that. Okay, and of course, because of Sharia compliant purposes, we cannot own the whole S&P 500, but we do have some ETFs that allow us to do. And of course, if you like picking stocks and you think you can actually beat the market, because remember, buying stocks doesn't just mean you just buy these stocks. You want to buy stocks because you think you can beat the index if you can. Okay, with basically maybe with the individual stocks that you're buying. But if you think you can't do that, then of course stick with the S&P. We stick with the ETFs. And of course, as a new investors, halal investors, Sharia compliant investors, I would definitely advise you just to stick with the ETFs for now until you understand how things work. And especially the fact that things are very volatile right now, the recession might be on the way and so on, then stick with the ETFs will probably be easier. Now, the other thing is the Dow Jones Industrial here, okay, it's also up for a year to date. It's about 3%. Okay, so Dow is actually about 3% up. So it hasn't actually done well. So there's a lot of companies here. You've got about 30 companies that are old companies, not old, 30 companies that are very mature, if you like. Okay, and when we look at the Nasdaq, it's up closer to 40%. So anyone that tells you the stock market is crashing, is total rubbish. Okay, just think about the bigger picture. Now, if we look at the FTSE 100 is down for the year. And this is, and I've said this before, you guys have to be genuinely careful with especially with people on the, like if you live in the UK and so on, be careful with the FTSE 100. The total returns for this index is not that great. Even when you look at 1 year, it's about 1%. And for the last 5 years, it's about 4%. 4% in the last 5 years. I don't want that. That's nothing. So you have to be careful. So that's why I pick companies within the FTSE 100 that are mega cap companies. And then, of course, majority of them is because the total return is not great. Basically, it's good, but they do pay excellent dividends like Rio Tinto and so on. So the dividends plus the price appreciation, although they are very cyclical, it kind of balances things out. And of course, I try to limit that to at least maybe 10% of the portfolio or something along those lines. So don't basically make your entire portfolio the FTSE 100, because there are a lot of old companies, and so they don't really generally do it. If they had a lot of technology companies, then they would have done really well. But there is almost zero. Like there's a few companies, but they don't really. Sage Accounting companies and things like that. Sage Group, I think, and a couple of others, but they're not really that big. So anyway, that is what's happening in the overall markets. As always, stay focused on the long term. Don't worry about the price up, basically fluctuation. Don't worry what's happening next week or week after. Focus on what is happening in the long run. So last week, if you just look at the last week, this is absolutely ridiculous. Last week, we've had companies that were up 11%, 7%, 6%, 10%, 5%. It's absolutely ridiculous. Even S&P Global had an amazing report and actually was up almost 12%. So in 1 week, things could easily change just like this. But also be mindful, this can happen. The opposite can happen in 1 week. Does that mean we're going to sell? Did you sell this basically the other day? This week, did you sell all your stocks? No, you probably bought more. But a week before, when it was all down, did you buy more? That should be the case. Okay, so inshallah. Anyway, we always talk about the mindset, but please focus on that. Let's now go back to the overall portfolio. I'm going to go over now the buys and sells. So these are my buys and sells. The sell for this month was Microsoft. So the first one, I've actually trimmed Microsoft, and I am going to now sell the rest of my Microsoft basically shares. Probably in the next few weeks. I just need to check a couple of more things, and then I will possibly be selling. So I will let you know when I do, inshallah, if I do. The next company that I've added to is AstraZeneca. I've been buying this company for quite some time. I still believe it's undervalued, and buying 3 shares of this company gives me about almost £9 in terms of dividend. I just added 1 more share of Nike. I bought a few shares of Medtronic. Medtronic is still actually undervalued. This one actually, I think, is the best performing stock that I've got for this month. It's gone up almost 11-12%. We've got S&P Global. It's done really amazing. You've seen it already. And then Public Storage I bought. So these two I bought more of. Basically, I took this money and actually bought more. I think I did a video, so if you want to watch that, go watch it. But that is where that money came from. Okay, and then basically I bought not all the money, but some of it, not all of it. And then I bought 3.4 shares of this company, and then I bought 2 shares of automatic data processing. Although I said I don't want to add to some of the industrial companies, I thought these companies has come down quite a bit. I wanted to round it up. I had 13 shares, I think, and now got 15 shares in total. So for this month, I spent almost £600. And 2 of those, basically £2,000 of that, came from the sale of Microsoft, some of Microsoft shares, and then the rest came from my own money. Now, like I said to you guys, I'm trying to maximize my ISA account. So what I need to do now from now on is that basically on average I need to add about 2,000 a month, but I'm going to keep doing 1,000 something every single month until we get to January. So January until April, until like March, that's when I buy more stocks, and the markets are very volatile at that time. It's not like I'm not timing the market, but that's when I actually try to add and rush to actually maximize my account. I've got other projects that I'm working on right now, so cash wise I'm going to be mindful. I do have it, but I just need to be mindful. And all of these buys basically added about £91 of dividends for going forward. Now I've got another video coming up for the dividends, so I will share that with you guys. So now I'm going to go over some of the stocks and what is down, what is up. Okay, 3M is still up, still down, sorry. Still in the portfolio. Air Products and Chemicals basically is doing well, 20% up. ASML, I've been planning to add to this company, but I've found other companies that are still undervalued, and I still do believe it's actually undervalued. I was planning to buy 2 shares in the last few weeks, but then I realized that's going to mean this company is going to be about 7-8% of my overall portfolio. And I've realized it's quite volatile because of what's happening in China and with the US now kind of blocking all the chips, basically sending to the US, to the China. This company will be impacted. So about a lot of their revenue will be impacted. So I just want to be mindful of that and just leave it for now. AstraZeneca, 28 shares. I'm going to round it up. By the way, the Trading 212 has not said anything about fractional shares, but my plan from now on until the end of maybe this month is to basically get rid of, round it up all my fractional shares and don't buy any more fractional shares. That's the plan. I will see how that goes. Automatic data processing, as you can see, I'm down a little bit. Broadcom still up £2,400, 92% up. 92% up. That's absolutely crazy. Cummins, again, 8% up. I've been up for this company. Same goes for Home Depot. I'm buying shares of the Home Depot next week. It's gone up this week a lot, so I just let it be. iShares, the World Islamic ETF, I have not added to this ETF for months and months now, and inshallah I will possibly be adding, because I realized there's a lot of companies that were undervalued, so I'll start focusing more of that. J&J, I'll be buying more J&J inshallah in the next few weeks. I need to round it up to 25 shares. It's actually gone now way below my, not way below, about $8 or $9 less than where I started buying. Medtronics, I'm not gonna lie, it's been down for quite some time. I like the company. I'm not going to do anything with it. That 50 shares probably be staying there for a while. Merck, recently I thought about selling Merck because I can't add to it. I feel like it's a little bit overvalued. The dividends is absolutely fine. It's a solid company. It's up 45%. So I thought maybe just take this money and buy another company that's way undervalued right now, a new maybe stock. I looked around. The only one I can think of was Thermo Fisher, and the dividends are not great on that one. It's quite. So I don't know. I haven't made a plan yet, but I'll let you know what's happening. Microsoft most likely will be gone very soon. Nike, and again, Microsoft, I always said to you guys, I was comfortable holding this because the 5% business side of it was coming from the search. And when I looked at the revenue coming from Bing, I was comfortable to say it was not over 5% of the entire business. Okay, but now they diversify their portfolio even further. I just need to double check that and see how much basically money came from that revenue, from basically I came from the advertisement. And if that advertisement section is more than 5%, then I'm going to sell it. Either way, whatever happens, I will share it with you guys. I haven't checked the latest report, but I'm going to check that and I'm going to compare it to this time last year and see if there's a growth there. And if the growth is basically exponential, like if it's basically going up a lot, then I might just say, you know what, it's time maybe to get rid of, because that advertisement part is where the non-Sharia compliance side of things come from. Hence why I've been comfortable, because I know I don't use Bing and I don't know that many people that use it, but because they've added that bit of AI recently, maybe it has given them a little bit more customers. So I need to double check that. So after that, I will let you know and possibly sell or whatever. Nike, again, is the same. It's gone up actually a little bit, which is quite nice, but it was down quite a bit, so it actually bounced back. Now it's in the green. Palo Alto Networks, I haven't added to it. I feel like this company is a great company. I like the business model. I like everything about it. I have a question mark on basically the owners. Okay, I'm going to look into that inshallah. They recently acquired a business model, another company from Israel. Okay, and I was reading about it yesterday, and the owner or the person who started in the first place the company, I think might be Israeli, whatever. They've got that link. Now that makes me very, very uncomfortable, the fact that they've acquired the new business as well as the person who started. For that reason, I'm happy to take my money and give away basically that green part to basically charity, inshallah, and then take my initial investment and put it somewhere else, because I'm definitely not supporting that basically it's not even a country. I don't even want to call that. Anyway, moving on. Procter & Gamble is the next company that I own in the portfolio. It's up quite a bit, £317. Okay, this is kind of steady Eddie. I would like to buy more of this company, inshallah, if it comes down a little bit. Public storage is down quite a bit. I'm buying it. I'm gonna keep buying this company at least until I get to 30 shares. I really like the business. Qualcomm, I'm not gonna touch it for a while, but it has actually almost became green the other day, so it's about 2%. This company fluctuates this is very volatile, I will say. Reckitt and Benckiser is again another company that I like, basically, and I'm gonna keep buying it. I want to get to 100 shares. Rio, the same thing. I want to get to 100 shares. S&P Global, maybe get to 20 shares in the next year or so. Unilever, not touching it at all, is in the red. I actually forgot about this company. They're in the red for a while now. Union Pacific, I want to round it up to at least to 30 shares moving forward. UPS has been one of those companies that have done. It was actually 20-something% down. Now it's about 19% down. It has come down quite a bit, so I might actually average it down a little bit if I actually think it's worth it. I might have to look at the latest earnings and see what they said. And Visa, as always, is sitting there for 20 shares. It's basically 15% up. Steady Eddie kind of company. I like the business model. So there you have it. That's every single stock that I have in this portfolio. There's nothing else anywhere else. This is actual money. That someone asked me recently, is this actual money or is this some sort of a, I don't know, basically fake account or whatever they call this. What do they call them? I can't remember. But yeah, so this is real money. Okay, this is my own money that you actually see every single week, and I will continue sharing, inshallah. I'm gonna do a dividend video now. Inshallah, I'll release it the next 24 hours, 48 hours as well, inshallah. Final thing is about the ISA account. The ISA is now, I've got about £9,300 to add between now and the 6th of April, inshallah. I'm going to continue doing that until I actually max it. But yeah, so after that, the plan, like I've always said to you, is this is my final year of adding, basically using this as an ISA account from now on. But by the time we get to April, I'm going to use a different account. I'm going to stop this one. I'm going to leave it. If I ever sell it and whatever, I will actually just keep it as it is, to reinvest the dividends in here, but don't actually use basically the ISA account. My ISA account will be somewhere else. So inshallah, that's the plan. Let's see how that works. But yeah, that's it. I think that's everything I want to share with you guys. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you have any questions, and don't forget to join us on the Discord. Don't forget to join us on the Patreon account, where you get all these things, access to all of these things. Have a wonderful day. Assalamu alaikum.